Hey gang, Scott Davenport here. I thought I'd flip the camera on and do a quick culling session here. I finished a shoot yesterday where I've got a body of work, about 3 or 4 different compositions, but a whole lot of photos of each one. And I thought I'd just share some things about, what am I looking for? I'm going through type of stuff. Being a little critical with the photos that I've captured, not really keeping everything. I'm not going to worry about, did I miss something? Am I going to go back? Really taking an assessment of them, looking through all these things, and deciding what do I really want to keep and what I really want to get rid of. So ignoring the one of the camera on the tripod, I've got really, 3 main compositions. I got this one where these more close-up of these particular rocks. There's a second one of this angled V-shaped rocks, and then a third one where it's this, I'll call it like a sawtooth rock. Which ones do I really want? So let's start off. I like to do my culling kind of with big thumbnails. I've got a reasonably good sized monitor, and so I don't have to have a full screen per se for this initial passing. For the first set, what am I looking for? This is the most important section of the photo for me. This, like I'll call this a tabletop rock, and then these other things here. Everything else becomes more contextual. And I'm really now looking at water patterns. Like, this is all right. This one's better. I'm going to put a 3 on that. I'll put a 2 on that one. This one's too smoky. I'm going to put an X. I'm just going to reject it. I'm not going to bother keeping it. Let's move down. Same thing here. This is just uninteresting. There's not there's play in the water, but it's kind of just flat and boring. So X on that one. Move on to the next. Looking at all these next 3, not too exciting, right? Compare that back to the one that showed the most promise here. These 3, not so much. I'll put 2s on them for now, and honestly, 2 is kind of like an interim. Yeah, I'm not ready to delete it yet, but it's probably going to go away, or I might use it for educational purposes like this, where I say, this is why I don't like these. All right, now the next set here, this kind of gets interesting because the lighting changed, right? So between taking these photos and taking these, the sun had come up a little bit more, and so I was losing that, like that purpley twilight. That I don't worry about because I can always push color around or do something with curves or tinting or so forth to bring that twilight feel back in if I like the motion that's in the water. So I don't care about the color differences. I am still paying attention to what's my main rock doing, what's going on with the water. This one, pretty good. Possibility there, 3. This one here, not so much. Look at this water movement around here. That's almost making that rock, especially that edge right there, seem out of focus. It's not, but the illusion is there. So we'll reject that. And this one I'm going to keep, and for the purpose of thinking of just like a subsection of this photo. This area happened to catch my eye as semi-interesting. Maybe something will come out of that, maybe not. Moving on to this next segment. This one here is very promising because it has a nice swirl. Nice action here. This main rock is visible, and that wave line is a very nice accent. So that worked out nicely where the tide was cooperating on multiple fronts. Less interesting of the 2, not even bother keeping it. Reject that one. This one's flat and uninteresting. Moving on. All right, that's it for that composition. Right now, for this second one, what I'm looking for is certainly love the spills over this one side, but also want whitewash there. And I have to recognize, because of the way that the ocean hits these rocks, it hits on the right-hand side, spills over, and then eventually some surges up this channel. So I may not have all the elements that I want in one frame. I might need 2 of them and do some compositing work to get the image that I really want. So this one, no, don't like it. There's just not enough going on. This spill is great, so 3 on that one. This, just kind of blah, nothing really happening there. Get rid of that. Moving on to the next one. Another one with a very good spill. Quickly compare against this one versus this one. They've both got merits. I'll keep them both 3-star on that one. Now I've got one where I've got both channels filled. These two here, I'm going to reject this one. I'm going to keep that one with a 3-star. And let's move on down here. This is too much coming over this. It's just covering up the rock. Reject that, bounce back this way. Those fills are pretty good. I'll put a 3 on that one. This one's kind of a mess. Reject that. Now the last bits, these are looking really, really interesting. These 3. All 3. This one I like. It's just because of the sweep that's in here. Different kind of shot. I don't have the spills over here. This is really, this filled in very much. This one even more so. Actually, I'm going to give that one a 4. That one of the photos so far, that one's the most exciting to me. It's a nice blend of things happening with the water. These rocks are strong. And part of that is I've got a lot of photos of these rocks. I don't necessarily need that spill coming over the side here. And this one, probably a 3. That might look interesting in black and white. And I'm basically done. I'll click a 3 on that one just because the composition is strong and everything is nice and stable. Now for the last group, this composition was about 2 things. I've got nice lines going on in the sky, and then this angular rock, and it's a little hard to see in the thumbnail, but there's a nice sawtooth kind of action going on. I want spill over this rock. I want lots of action going on in the water, and I don't see it in these yet. So X. I'm going to move a little faster now. No. Yes, that looks good. That one doesn't. That one is flat. That one's flat. That one's really bad. No, no, no. That's pretty good. No, no, and no. So, let's zoom back out here. Of that last sequence, I really just kept 2, where I had some nice action going on over this. I still got this strong tooth, and of course, the sky wasn't really going to be changing much. Nice little bonus. Got surfers out here. I might remove one of them. Might remove those guys out there. But this one's a really nice story. So anyway, that's just kind of a quick rundown of some culling there. At the tail end of that, where I started to get really fast, that's how I'm usually going through the photos. Obviously not narrating to myself, but just looking for the key elements that I really want. And just because I've rejected them doesn't mean they're gone from my catalog. I just do that so that when I next look at the photos, I'll go in here and say, okay, well, filters, let me just go into my attributes, and I'll say, well, show me everything that is 3-star or more. And I've got a lot less to work with already. The rest of the stuff is still there. Later on, I may, eventually, I will go back and just delete them all, get them out of my catalog. I don't need the digital waste lying around. Anyway, thought you might find the culling process interesting. And if you didn't, well, I got another video coming next week that maybe you will enjoy more. And if you did, maybe this will help you out with your own culling. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.